For KSB number 3, the task is to set up the bumpers. We have our standard controls for the camera. Pan left, arrow left, pan right, arrow right, boom up, up arrow, boom down, down arrow. Use the page up button to zoom in and the page down button to zoom out. The ball starts at the top of the table, and your task is to first arrange the angles of these guide rail bumpers at the top. The ball is going to come straight down this line and hit this first bumper. So you need to arrange the angle of this bumper to give you the angle of reflection that you want to come over and strike this bumper, and then adjust this bumper's angle so that the angle of reflection from this bumper will strike one of these two targets. So this is the first setup. So you do this by just left clicking and right clicking with the mouse directly on the bumper to rotate it. So I'm going to hold down the left mouse button here, and I'm just going to set the angle, and I can get a little bit better look at exactly what this angle is going to be like. When I right click in the screen, if I'm not playing the game full screen, then the setup menu comes up. So if I want to do away with that setup menu, I can just go into play the game and select full screen here, and when I do, then those menus will go away. So now I need to I have this bumper set up, so the ball is going to come down here, and then the angle of reflection is going to shoot over this way. Now I need to rotate this bumper to the right, so I'm going to right click and hold down the right mouse button, and I'm just going to set this I suppose right now at about 120 degrees, and you can see that there is a transparent illuminated needle here that shows me what the angle that I've got selected. So that's the first setup that I need to do. The next calculation that I have to do is I have to calculate the distance that the kickout ring is going to travel for the pop bumper. So as you saw in the diagram in the online page, the kickout ring is underneath the cap, and when the ball is coming off this bumper and travels over here, the ball is going to touch this skirt, and when it does, that fires a solenoid that drives this cap down the body, and this cap is going to travel down the body at a speed that you have to set up, and you're going to determine that speed by determining how far this kickout ring travels down this body in the fixed time of 30 milliseconds. So the maximum distance that it can be set to travel is 40 millimeters. So if you were to only set it at 1 millimeter, for example, then you would have almost no distance being traveled. It wouldn't even be enough for the contact to happen between the kickout ring and the ball, and there will be no effect in essence then on the rebound of the ball. And it can't be set past 40 because that's the end of the travel distance, 40 millimeters. So your task is to find the optimum setting so that when the ball is being struck by the kickout ring and propelled back into the table, then you have the right amount of strength on the ball as it's being propelled back into the table by the pop-up bumpers to cause the maximum number of reflections so that it can hit these two side rails and the top rail and continue to strike these two bumpers, and have the maximum number of opportunities to strike these two targets, because you get 1,000 points for each target that you hit, and there's no limit to how many points you can earn in this particular KSB. You're only limited to the 10 attempts that you have. So right now I'm going to just show you an example. I have adjusted my rotation of these two bumpers, and I'm going to just select maybe an arbitrary value of 20 millimeters that I'm going to move the kickout ring. And now the interface says to hit the space bar to release the ball. So I will. And I can see that it came close enough to the upper pop bumper to collect points, but didn't come close enough to activate the kickout ring. but it did activate the kick-out ring on the bottom and propelled the ball most of the way back up the table. So then the idea is to find just the right amount of strength for these pop-up bumpers to keep the ball in play for the maximum number of opportunities to strike each pop-up bumper and collect points.